What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be giving my honest thoughts and opinions on the XDefiant test server that just happened this past weekend. Let's go. I'm just going to do a simple pros and cons list about what I liked about the game and what I think needs to be tweaked moving forward about the game, and we'll talk about expected release dates for the full release of XDefiant. I'm just going to go ahead and start with the cons and get the negatives out of the way, but the first one, obviously, there was a lot of bugs and a lot of glitches and a lot of crashing going on, but the most noticeable one was the invisibility glitch. So if you were anybody from, I want to say it's called the Echelon faction, and if you chose to be invisible, the invisible ability would glitch and you'd just be invisible the entire game. I'm sure a bunch of you saw that, and then they ended up actually, like, day 2, I think. Day 2, they just cut that whole faction out as the simplest solution to that glitch or that bug. So that's how they handled with that, but there was a lot of other bugs, and I crashed a few times just in the middle of the game and had to restart. So that's the first con, is that there's a lot of bugs, but you can't really expect it to be a polished game when it's a free-to-play game, and I don't think it's on the priority list for Ubisoft. So I don't think the game's getting a whole lot of attention when it comes to workers and developers and stuff like that. The second con I got is I think the time to kill is just a little too slow. And like if I had to bump it up like percentage wise, like if maybe like a cool 15%, I would bump it up, because there's often times where it feels like you're emptying a whole clip into someone or half a clip, and then it limits the amount of double kills and clips that you can make when the time to kill is a little too slow. So I'd probably bump it up maybe 15, 10 to 10, 20%, depending on, I think 20% might be a little too crazy, but 15% I think would be a good bump in the time to kill speed. The next con I have is the mobility situation going on. I don't mind the mechanics of it. It feels a lot like Call of Duty Ghosts to me. So if you don't like that mobility, you probably won't like the mobility in XDefiant. But the customization that you can put on all the guns, you can make your gun not even feel like a P90. You know what I mean? Like if you just stack mobility on an SMG, you'll do like all these like crazy bunny hop, like strafe midair, like you'll move 100 miles an hour. So I don't know how I feel about having the ability to move 100 miles an hour and completely like change how you play with a gun based on the attachments that you put on it. That'll just carry me to my next con. I personally am not the biggest fan of having 18 million attachments on your guns. So I like the days of having like 2 attachments, 3 attachments at the most, having on your gun. I think once you get past like 3, it just gets into like all these crazy modifications that you can make your stinking ACR feel like an MP7, you know what I mean? So I am not the biggest fan of that. I didn't like it in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I didn't like it in Modern Warfare 2. So I'm not a big fan of it now, but it's something that we've gotten used to. So it's not the biggest deal in the world. That's why it's number 4 for me. That's why it's not a huge con. So those were the only really big cons that I thought I didn't really like or thought I should have been tweaked. But obviously, like, the glitches and the bugs are pretty big things that need to be changed. So that is something that needs to be dealt with. But everything I feel like I mentioned could be modified or changed, so it's not like it's the end of the world. The only thing that really can't be changed is the customization. I feel like if you're already at this point in the game's development of having like 5 or 6 attachments on a gun, it's going to stay that way, but that's not the end of the world. So everything else can be tweaked or changed moving forward, so it's not too bad. Now moving on to the pros. For the most part, I thought the guns were fairly balanced. I got a lot of opportunities to use all the ARs and all the SMGs, and I didn't feel like there were any guns that you couldn't use. Obviously, there's gonna be like a little bit favored guns. Like for me, like I thought the AK for ARs was probably the best for me, and then I also thought the MP5 was the best SMG for me. But like I was getting shredded by ACRs and P90s. Yeah, I didn't think there was that big of a difference when it comes to the balance of the guns, so I thought that was really nice. The second pro I got is I really liked the color of the maps. I thought the map designs were okay. Obviously, not every map's going to be a great map, you know, But for the most part, I thought the maps were good. I like the color of them. I don't like just staring at gray 24/7, 365, like in some of like the past CODs and some of the newer CODs, staring at dark gloominess 24/7. So I thought that the maps were pretty well done, and I appreciate that. Another pro that I thought was pretty well done is the abilities, the factions that they did. I thought it was cool that they actually brought other Ubisoft games into the factions. So each faction was from a different Ubisoft game, and I thought that was just a cool way to cross into like all the other games and together in like one Ubisoft game. So I thought that that was really cool. I'm kind of torn. I like having score streaks and like kill streaks or whatever you want to call them, but that's also what the abilities are for. So having like the supers and the ultras is like that's what they're for. But I don't know. I feel like I would like to have score streaks, but I thought the abilities overall were really cool. Like there was a different ability and like having the variety of the different abilities that I all thought that were pretty good. So I like those as well. And then my last big pro I had about the game was obviously the fact that it's free. So there's a lot of potential for that, because since it's a free game, they're not just gonna have everything be free. You already know that there's gonna be like a battle pass coming in hot. Hopefully if they do it right, they make it worthwhile. But overall, I thought the test server was really good. I like the game. There's no official release date. That's kind of what this test server was for, to see how ready they think their game is and how ready they think they can prepare a launch and an official release date. So there's no official release date yet, but I'll keep you guys posted with that. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys. Make sure to like and subscribe for more first-person shooter content, some gaming content, and comment what videos you would like to see me post in the future. But that's all. Thanks, guys. Peace.